Hey, it's Amy and welcome to my channel. I don't know about you, but I have a tendency to run the same running routes over and over again. In my video looking towards 2021, I made it a goal that I wanted to try new running routes in 2021. However, I still think it's a great idea to know specific running routes around where you live, especially if you don't have time or if you just want to go for a specific distance and don't want to worry about kind of getting lost or just trying new things that day. So it made me ask, how do you find new running routes exactly? In today's video, I'm going to share exactly how to find new running routes and ways to refresh your running routes, especially if you're stuck in a rut. And while you're here, click the subscribe button if you haven't already, as it really helps out my channel. And you can also follow me on Instagram at amy.spurr-Caveney. So let's find some new running routes. Molly Seidel posted on a story or a post on Instagram, I can't find it now, but basically saying that if you get local legend on Strava, it just means that you're kind of boring in where you run and you just run the same thing over and over again. She was joking and I just think it's really funny because it's true. I have also gotten local legend and it's just because I've literally just done the same thing over and over again when I go for my run. If you don't know what local legend means on Strava, it just means you had the most efforts in that segment or little area in 90 days. So that's a long time, 90 days. Yeah, that's a long time to run the same thing over and over again. As I said in the beginning, I wanted to do new running routes in 2021 and not doing so great. But today I did go for a run and I purposely made myself not go back on the same street and just try to get home just a different way or just not going back. It was good, except I ended up running up Avenue Hill, and if you know, you know, but it was really steep and snowy and I kind of regretted it. But you know what? Hills are good. As someone like myself who likes routine and a schedule, trying new things, especially like a new running route, can be very intimidating and a bit scary. I had no idea where to start looking for new running routes, so I asked around and did some research, and I'm going to share what I found. One thing that I found helpful is creeping my friends on Strava. If you don't have Strava, that's okay, but you can see where your friends run if they're not private, and you get ideas, especially if they live near you. You can be like, oh, I should do that route and use it yourself. So sometimes I just scroll through Strava looking at my friends run and just seeing just what they do, and so I find that really helpful. Sometimes my friend also just suggests different areas, especially if we're doing a specific workout. They send like screenshots or just kind of map it out, and I'm going to talk about mapping out your route in a second, but it's just helpful kind of sharing that knowledge with friends too. I've been on long runs with people, especially people I just met, and they've shared like some of their favorite running routes, and I think that's really cool, just again sharing that knowledge. Another idea for finding a new running route, which my friend told me about, is when she travels, and when we're allowed to travel again, hopefully soon, is to look for water in the area that you're staying. Typically, there's a waterfront trail that goes along the water, especially if it's a big area, so there's probably not going to be as many cars or lights, so you have to stop on your run, which is always the best. Here in Toronto, we also have a waterfront trail called the Martin Goodman Trail. I have done countless number of runs on the MGT, and even my virtual marathon was basically back and forth along the MGT, which, you know, was a little boring, but, you know, it was clear and, again, not many lights, so it's just perfect for doing speed workouts in it too. Another great thing about the MGT is that I'm pretty sure the people who are in charge of clearing it are runners, because it's always probably one of the first things to get cleared in the city. It's awesome, and it's just so great. You can really count on that being clear, especially if it's snowy. But again, back to what my friend said, when you travel or just somewhere new, look for the water on Google Maps or just any map, and you probably will find a trail. Another idea to find new running routes or just to see where runners like to run is going on Strava and using the global heat map. So if you go into Google and click Strava heat map, it should come up, and we click this, and it's updated monthly, it says, and then I just click on find my location, and then it kind of locates where you are, obviously, and then you can kind of go around. I have the setting at heat map color hot, so it just shows me kind of like really glows where people like to run a lot. So you can just kind of go around and you can zoom in and zoom out, and you can really see, yes, there's the MGT, and it's quite popular, as you can tell by the heat color of it. So you can just go around and just see all through wherever you live. I obviously live in Toronto, so you can just see. And then I think you can have it set so it shows you labels, and it clicks so it shows you street names. There we go. And then you can kind of see exactly the street names that these popular spots are on, and then you can go run on those or try them out for yourself. So it gives you a little bit of an inspiration of where to go on your own run and just routes that are good for running. I just think this is a really cool kind of tool to use. Another tool to use for finding new running routes is mapmyrun.com. I mentioned this a bunch in other videos, as I love to kind of plan out my route on it, and it can show you like the exact distance, and you can even save it. But there's also an option to kind of search other routes that people have saved and shared for other people, or other runners, I mean. So you simply go to mapmyrun.com, and you can click there. You might have to register to kind of see the different routes. I think so, actually. But you can click on this tab called Find Routes. So you click that, and then you can kind of type in a route name or keyword, a certain location, and I've already written in Toronto, and then you do all activities. So I'm gonna click run, and then you can do from at least 3 kilometers, I don't know, maybe I'll do like a nice 10-kilometer run. And then you scroll down, and you can see all the routes that people have shared. So again, I put in 10 kilometers, but, oh, and then you click search, of course. There we go. Click the search button, very helpful. Then you just scroll down, and then you can see all these runs. So let's just click this Monday 10.5K, and then it loads here, and then you can see exactly where this person, okay, this is more in the East End, but still, if I ever want to go to the East End for a run, I have a route already planned for me, and I know that this is an option. So you can go back, and there's just so many other different kind of routes, and I'm sure it's for any city that you live in, so that's really cool. So mapmyrun.com/routes/search, and I'll have the links for everything I talk about in the description below, don't worry. I feel like I have to heat up my coffee like every, I don't know, I can't finish a cup of coffee without heating it up at least twice, so be right back. I'm pretty sure our microwave is the only singing microwave I've ever seen, but much better. When I started this process, I was just amazed by how many kind of options there are and tools that are out there for runners to find new routes or just to log and share them with others. I just find the running community just so inviting and so just willing to share knowledge, and they want others to, have the same and fun experience and want to share routes that are really good or avoid this area. So anyways, I just wanted to share that I think the running community is awesome, and I love all these tools that are available for us. Which leads me to another one which I've never really used before, and this one is called the runkeeper.com. So I went on, I think you have to sign up again, but anyway, so you just click on the search here, and then it says routes, and then you can type in wherever you live. So for me, Toronto, and then I'll just say 10 kilometers again. I don't know why I'm stuck on 10 kilometers. Maybe that's because what I ran this morning. But anyways, so it pops up different kind of routes. So let's click on this route here, and then it shows you all where it is. Oh, that's so cool. And then just gives you the route. So let's search down, and then again, it gives you the elevation and the distance at the elevation, or the distance at where the elevation gets the highest or lowest. So that's really cool. And then you can kind of zoom in again and see exactly the streets and then the kilometer marks on all of them. So that's really cool. You just kind of go around, and let's stick the back arrow, and then oops, and then let's go try another person. Let's try this one, and then you can go around. Oh yeah, and then it gives you again another route. So a lot of these are downtown, but I'm sure you can find the ones outside of the kind of downtown core, but this is really handy. And then again, you can add it to your routes. I haven't tried that, like your own kind of, you could save them, but anyways, you can just write this down or remember it yourself. But for me, the routes I've seen so far, not like anything too crazy, but it does give me a little inspiration, or just an idea of where maybe to go a different direction, or just try mixing up the streets that I run in, even though I have run on these streets before, but maybe not pieced together like they mapped out here. So it's it's up to you if you would find this useful, but I think it's really cool just kind of going around, and I feel like I'm a little creeping on these people, but you know what? They posted them, so I don't feel quite as bad. If you're new to a city or you're traveling and find yourself in a new area that you don't know where to run, a really good idea is to call the local running store. I'm sure there's several, but you can call them and ask their suggestions for where to run. As most of the people who work in a running store are runners, they probably have some great ideas or route suggestions. As I mentioned before, the running community is so generous, and if you're able to run with other people at that time, you can also see if they're having drop-in runs, so you're not going alone, and you can go and follow them and have other runners to run with in a new city. So that's really cool. Again, when we're allowed to run with other people, but when we can, that's a really good idea. Another suggestion is to type into Google where you are and just type in running routes. And I'm sure there will be lots of things that pop up, hopefully useful things. For example, you can go to Reddit, which you can find a lot of things on, and type in running routes Toronto, and then there will be things that will pop up, and maybe there will be a useful new running route to look at. So you can kind of look, and there's a 5K route, running tips, running routes in Niagara Falls. And again, not all running things, but this is one way to find a running route that maybe you might not have seen otherwise. There's lots of non-running routes. Anyways, or just type in good old google.com running routes near me. And then it pops up with running in Toronto, best routes and places. So that's cool. greatruns.com. I'll have that link down below as well. The internet is a beautiful thing. So when in doubt, you can also just go on the internet. How do you find inspiration for your own running routes? Is there anything that I've missed? Please share it in a comment below. It's so easy to get kind of caught in the same routine day after day, and just, you can depend on that route, and I get it, but it also can get a little boring. I hope the ideas and tools that I've shared in this video will be useful for you, especially just to spice up your running route if you're in a rut like I was finding myself in. If you like this video, tap that thumbs up button. Happy running and exploring new routes, and I'll see you next time.